Nitwacokereria na gicunji gia keri kia How We Met na muthenya wa umuthi turi na Solomon na Karo nio maratuhe rugano rwa wendo area ya macemanire miaka 15 mihituku kuria mwena wa Sotik na muthenya wa umuthi area ya makoretwo magikinyukia ikinya gwa ikinya Ngai ni amahete ciana ithatu na nginyagia hau makinyite Ngai akoretwo akimatwara kuma level imwe nginya iri ingi maratwira nginyagia riu haha turi maikaraga mucii wao uria Ngai amahete uguo ni uhoro mwega na wa magegania ugiciria kuria andu magikoma marutanite kwa ihinda iraya. So now we come back to part 2 ndio waendelee kutueleza zaidi. So now Solomon, you've come to Nairobi na umekuja pale GBS TV. How was life there?
I tell you, it was not very easy from the onset. It was not easy, number one, because I was used to being a full-time pastor, and now this is unemployment. And over the weekends, I'm going to preach in church back in Kericho, and I apply every weekend, and you know, and the work I got, because I wanted to get exposure, I wanted also to come back to come to Nairobi for the sake of education. I wanted to pursue my, you know, Bachelor of Journalism in Media Studies at the University of Nairobi, where I had gotten an admission. And so coming this way, it was not easy for us, but you know, the culture and stuff, but I had to. I had to, and right now it's been about 6-7 years in Nairobi, and I thank God I did the move. I thank God I did the move.
Mungu amekuwa akiwatoa from one grace to another.
From one grace to another. Right now, you know, we live in Syokimau here in Katani.
I just told the viewer that in Kikuyu, by the way.
You did.
I just told them that God has moved you from one grace to another. I've told them he moved you from Sotik to Nairobi and now living in your own home. Isn't that grace? It is, yes.
You said that.
And you have to tell the viewer about what God has done for you.
God has helped us, and I thank God because, you know, my children are in school, and we also were able to start a church now in Nairobi. So we have a church at Imara Daima right behind the new Imara Mall in Imara Daima, and it is happening. So and you know, the congregation is growing, and we are fulfilled by ministry there, and it's just, you know, a few months, but the progress is great. So tunashukuru Karo.
That's so great.
Thank you. Thank you.
So Karo, tell us about it. God has moved you from Sotik. Here you are, you got a transfer, and your husband now is juggling between kazi, being a pastor, anarudi Kericho bado, anasoma, and here you are, family inaendelea kugrow pole pole. So tell us about the growth you have seen in marriage and trusting in God.
Yes, it's been maybe full of challenges, but by the grace of God, yes, we see every day as a blessing. It has not been that easy or that hard, but all the way it has been with God, because the first time I also came and reported in my office, I was thinking now about the issue of the child and the issue of jam in Nairobi and the issue of fare. So I went and told now the director who was doing the deployment. Now I live in Kasarani. So I'm asking you to take me to Kasarani sub-county. I want to work from there so that I can walk to work. Mimi sina fare ya
kwenda
Nairobi kila siku, and I could imagine I leave my child very early in the morning and I go to work. But he just smiled and and just deployed me where he wanted. And after working now, I was deployed in the headquarters, and after a while I thought, well, this was the plan of God. I started enjoying, you know, working in that place, and I thank God because it was the best decision he made, because I used to go for lunch hour meetings, And if I was working in Kasarani,
Yes.
I wouldn't go to the lunch hour meetings where the church where we were fellowshipping was. So it was a blessing. Now, having my husband working, it wasn't that hard because the work place was not far from where we were living. And somehow, because of the nature of his job, we could meet each other when I was off, and he could come home and check on the child when I'm at work.
Yes.
You know, sometimes he could even come for lunch. So it wasn't that bad. It wasn't that hard. And having him go to school, yes, he also went to school. I believe he has mentioned that. And
Yes.
having ministry, going to Kericho and coming back. I think I had gotten used to that, and he didn't do it for a long time. So I didn't feel that. I didn't feel that. It was okay. It was okay with me because I also understood kazi ya Bwana, you know, lazima ifanyike.
Ni kweli.
And you could see the burden, the burden for ministry. Yes, it is just part of his life, and I have to support him. I have to support him as a wife because I have to be his best supporter. So if I'm not supporting him in the thing that he holds it precious, you know, then who will?
That's true.
Yes.
Wow, that's nice.
So,
let me ask you a question about the management of finances. In families, you find that watu wanafichiana mambo. And that's why you find stagnation, where people are hiding issues from each other. You don't need to know what you're doing with your money. So I'm trying to imagine you've come to Nairobi, you're now renting more than you did when you were in Sotik, and you have to pay for your fare to go to work. He has to pay for his fare as well. And you still have to manage the finances. Anaenda shule, na anaenda... kunaitwa aje, anaenda Kericho bado. So tell us about openness in marriage when it comes to issues of money, because I truly believe for you guys to have managed to be where you are today, there must be some transparency and a lot of it. So tell us a bit about that, Caro, because tunafichiana maneno sana kwa marriage.
For me, from the onset, I believe the Holy Spirit is a great teacher because, you know, I can't attribute it to anybody, you know. Since we got married, I just knew everything that belongs to him belongs to me, and everything that belongs to me belongs to him. So we have always been transparent with our money. I will say the initial stages of our marriage and family, I was the one who was working before he got the job at GPS. And all along, even when I met him, I knew this person is going far. He has potential.
Yes.
He has potential, and he is outgoing. And yes, I know God is going to bless him.
Yes.
So all along, I haven't had that thing of like, this is my money.
Yes.
I'm holding to it. I was brought up in a very humble background. Yes, very humble background, and the issues of money have never been a problem to me.
Yes.
So I knew my money is his money. Most of the time, we will get like some good money from the place of work, apart from salary.
Yes.
And because we were transparent, we will bring money we get to the table. What do we do? We have these, we have this. At times tulikuwa na madeni nyingi sana. So hata nikificha
itakuwa mbaya.
Itakuwa headache. And you know, the stress will still come back to me, you know. You know, having that to share. To share, it becomes very easy. You share your problems.
Yes.
You share the burden. It becomes very easy. You know, you get a lot of advices out there. Someone tells you, hata hii, you know, hii unajua si salary. Hakuna vile atajua. So hata nikificha, ninapeleka wapi?
You know. Really.
How do I just stay in peace and know money somewhere?
Yes.
He's going through a lot of trouble.
I know. It's not easy.
Ati mtoto hajalipiwa fee, nyumba haijalipwa.
Na umeficha tu pesa twako.
You know, it comes back to me.
Yes, of course.
So, yeah, I've never seen a point of like, this is my money. And we've never experienced that. We've never even thought of it.
Wow, that's nice, Carol. So let's come here. Solo, ulikuwa umetuambia pale mwanzo kabisa, nilikuwa nimeuliza swali, what did you like about her then? You see, you are still young, you were not married then. Alikuwa mpole, ulipenda meno yake,
yes,
ulipenda vile alikuwa na serve kwa church.
Yes.
Sasa family imeendelea ikigrow, you've met a lot of challenges, you've met successes on the way. So what do you like about Carol? Tuambie. Yes.
Okay, yeah, before I come to that, Carol Mwaura, before I come to that, she's mentioned something about money,
yes,
and how money management is a real hiccup in the family,
yes,
or rather between two people. Yeah, you know, it's about attitude, and it's about foundation. It's about how you people began. You know, you began like mtu alikuwa na ficha yake na mwingine alikuwa na ficha yake. So you know, if that one is not broken at some point,
yes,
then the trend will continue, because you know, people do things that even where it began well, we were open to each other, but then as people now grow and there are more opportunities and more income opportunities and things here and there, you find that people do in a couple, a member of the couple, one may do things that may make the other person insecure.
Yeah, true.
And one may do things that, you know, you realize that kumbe alikuwa ameficha hii. Nasema, sasa zangu zote namuonyesha nini. You know, alikuwa ameficha hii. You know, we need to avoid doing things that arouse curiosity and break the trust and builds insecurity, because when that one is done, once insecurity has been built, I don't know how you'll break it. Once mistrust has been built, I don't know how you'll build it again. You understand?
That is
so
true.
It is important to be open and say, okay, zamani nilikuwa naeka hii kinyume na wewe, but now Carol, this is now the situation. Hii ndio napata. Do you know, they say this, they say that in unclaimed, there is an authority in Kenya, called Unclaimed Assets Authority. They are holding a lot of money,
billions of money,
billions, whereas children are suffering. Do you know why? Because a husband did not trust the wife enough, or the spouse enough, and so if you don't trust the spouse, you find that it goes so to the children. And she's a great partner when it comes to matters ministry. She prays, and then she has integrity. She prays, she has integrity, she supports in matters ministry. She's always been in praise and worship at Asai Church. She's the one leading our praise and worship.
Wow.
And, you know, she's understood the doctrine also that I preach. Well, there are people who preach together as couples, but they don't share doctrine.
Yes.
So wanatofautiana hata madhabahuni. I have seen a couple. I have seen a couple. I have seen a couple that one stops the other and mzee hapo umesema hivi lakini wait. What about this scripture? Don't you think you're lying to people? I have heard someone telling a person before others, don't you think you're lying to others? What about this? So we agree on doctrine. I thank God we agree on doctrine. so when you agree on doctrine, then even how you pray, you agree.
Yes, that is true.
Yeah, if you agree on the doctrine of grace, what we preach, the doctrine of Jesus Christ, we preach grace, we preach Jesus, the gospel of Jesus and not the law. So when we agree like that, it also determines that, it also goes without saying that we agree on prayer that we make.
That is true.
Hakuna mtu ambaye anavunja vunja malana na mwingine anaombea neema. You know, hakuna mtu ambaye anaongea kuhusu uchawi na mwingine anaongea kuhusu Christ.
Yes, yes.
You know, so we agree on doctrine, so we agree on prayer, we agree on ministry that we do together.
Yes.
And I involve her in people we are praying with. So and so has called me. We need to pray for so and so. We go to, we have agreed,
yes,
as a matter of principle, we minister to ladies together.
Yes. Oh. Auntie?
Minister, yeah. I don't go to
ladies alone.
To ladies' houses.
Yes.
That we've agreed by principle. I don't go to ladies' houses unless we are together.
Yes.
We don't, you know, there's caution when we are ministering to singles, single women and stuff. She's got to know what we are ministering about.
Yes.
And hii mambo imefika wapi, you know, keep her in the loop. And if we have to be alone, it's in a
the
place
open,
where she is or where she knows, so that there are no these things.
Yes.
Because it begins with one, baadaye watakuwa wa 10.
Ni kweli, naanza hivyo pole pole.
And stuff. So we've agreed on principle on how we minister. We know our boundaries, how we deal with church finances, different from our personal finances.
Hey, Carol, tell us from your side, what do you like about Solomon now? Wacha sasa huyo wa kitambo mwenye mlipatana kwa kanisa Sotik. Over the years now, it's been a journey. What do you like about him now?
I think there's something I forgot to mention in the beginning, which was also a very great aspect that I was looking for in marriage, and that he has proved to be true over the years. When I was trusting God to get married to a pastor, that a pastor would not beat me, and also secondly I was trusting God for someone who is faithful, faithful in marriage. So but that time he didn't look to me like alikuwa anakaa mjuaji. So I wasn't sure about that.
Yes.
But my encouragement was, God knows him. That is why he brought him to my life. So I actually sikuwa najua God amejibu hiyo. So over the years, wow, I have seen the faithfulness of God, and I will say I'm really blessed. Because of the stories that people talk out there. I thank God because he answered my prayer. He gave me a faithful man. And that's what every woman would desire.
Yes. Wow. So you like the fact that he's a faithful man?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
You know, it's like Ali ni prove wrong. And it's the grace of God. It's the grace of God. And this guy is very handsome. Is he not? He's very handsome. He's outgoing. Yes. He's outspoken. You know? He's a very courageous person. Those are the things I like about him. He's courageous. So he's also a great father. With him, I've learned the importance of having a father in marriage for our sons. Yes. Sons are very technical and they want someone who is tough. And sometimes I think he's being too firm or
on them.
Tough.
Yes.
Tough on them, but now I see the aspect of a father very important, because mimi ningekuwa tu ule mpole alafu unashindana na watoto, so that's very important. I like about him that is he follows up in discipline issues. for children. And I will say my children are truly blessed to have a father
like him.
Yes, to have a father like him. He prays for us. He prays for us. And he has, ni kama vijana wake wanafuata tu hivyo. You should hear the very young one, the 2.5 years.
He prays.
He is praying in tongues. You know, he's praying in tongues because of watching the Father. You know, that's a blessing for us.
Yes, it is. Wow, I love that from the two of you. So tunakaribia kumaliza. I want to know, do you have your bad moments, and how do you go over them? Like, how do you work it out? Tuanze na Solomon.
Oh yes, bad moments are especially to a man. Bad moments are when there are clear needs that a man is not able to fulfill. You know, financial needs. There are resource gaps, and that one really puts a man down. And also, when there are challenges to do with what you take as your main profession, you know, I don't know, but a man derives a lot from what he considers his main occupation. So mine is church, and you know, when things are not moving well, someone can fold. You can fold at a corner kidogo. And yeah, those are moments that you really need a wife that you know does not hurry you up. Anakuacha utoke kwa hiyo cocoon, alafu utaweza kuongea. And there are misunderstandings. In every marriage there are misunderstandings.
Yes.
Misunderstandings should not be misconstrued to mean that you hate each other.
Yes.
It simply means that you're different. She thinks different, I think different.
Yes.
And it is not good for us to all the time think the same way.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, it's important to have a difference of thought and thinking and opinion. Also, there is a difference. Also, there is a difference of what I call temperament. She is melancholy. She likes her space, just seated, just not, you know, whatever. And I am outgoing and, you know, at times even for no good reason. And so that one forms, you know, temperaments can really bring a difference in her. Yeah.
True.
Yeah. We uko kierere sana, you know. We umenyamaza sana, hata ninajaribu kuongea wewe uongee. Hata nikitoa story mpaka, you know, hata nikikuuliza umeongea na nani kwa simu, ni jamaa fulani, umenyamaza. Nikuulize tena ndio explain.
Yes.
Alafu nikuulize tena ndio explain.
Explain, yeah.
You know?
There must be a follow-up question for it to be a conversation.
Asking, nani umeongea na nani kwa simu? Ni mtu fulani kutoka huko Kericho. Alikuwa anataka nini? Alikuwa anapiga tu mambo ya kazi. Yeah, so there are staccatos.
Yes.
And you're wondering, there is no flow. Must I force you to tell me things?
Yes.
But after some time, you realize this is how someone is.
Sure.
This is how someone is. He doesn't talk much. Na wakati ambapo anafunguka kuongea, pia unamwacha aongee, unampea space, ushindani naye kwa space pia. You know, so temperament can really bring a difference in
yeah, sure.
You understand? Karo ako hivi. She's the
one.
The all jumpy, always partying and whatever.
Na huyo mwingine solo.
Amekaa hivi, anashangaa party ni ya nini. Anashangaa, you are now inviting other friends again. We had other ones last weekend.
I know.
We are going to your parents again. Did we go
last weekend?
You know? People pass on and everything else. So when you understand this is how she is and this is how he is, it brings harmony.
That is
you
true.
You give them their space. Because if God is a matchmaker, if God made you together to be the silent type, that house will be colder than the morgue.
That is true.
Okay? Colder than the morgue. And if also that all of you were jumpy, that house, the windows would be shut. Because it's a party house, you know.
Kweli.
So you understand who you are hivi. So I think many a times the difference comes, I want to run and she's just walking. She's just walking. I want to talk. She's just quiet.
Quiet, yeah.
I want her to greet people. She's just there. You know? So you understand, understanding temperaments is one means of really living harmonious life.
Sure.
Caro Mwaura is like this. John Mwaura is like that. This.
Yes. Caro, it's your turn. How do you take misunderstandings, or rather the differences that Solomon has just told us about? Do you have those moments, and how do you go about it?
Yes, definitely. There are misunderstandings. It cannot be new.
It's not a bed of roses.
And the way he mentioned earlier, we talk about everything. And that is something I will say we learned. We learned, we didn't have from the beginning. And I will say it's not easy. Communication being the main problem in marriage, it wasn't easy, but it's something I really decided I will learn this thing. I will talk about it. For me, every problem, I really want to look into it, yes, and resolve it. However hard it is, we will have to look for a way of talking about this thing, because I want to have a free heart. You know, once you start piling and hiding things, the way many people do, wanasema hata nikiongea haitasikika ama haitasaidia chochote ama itaanza shida ingine. But me, I always want to focus until this thing is resolved. Hata ikiwa ngumu aje, I have to mention this thing. When he goes to something else, kwani ujamaliza ile kitu, kwani haikuisha? No, let's talk about this one. You know,
yes.
Until we resolve this, that is how tunaweza endelea kuwa na conversation
ingine.
And you know, we will tutaendelea vizuri, we will not break trust. You know, once you start covering up issues, ukuja uchukue ingine tena, cover up. Like for me, I'm that person mwenye nikiweka kitu moja, nikuja niwekelee ingine. You know, for me, I can pile it for a long time. Siku ile itariliziwa,
itakuwa kitu mbaya. Itaangusha nyumba.
I will talk, atashanga kama ni mimi ndio naongea.
Yes.
You know? And I don't like that. I believe in resolving issues because at the end of the day, we have to communicate. We have children. At the end of the day, we have to remain friends. Yes. And we have to continue in this marriage. And, you know, if it is marriage, then we better enjoy it. Unajua ni kama unafanya hesabu, you're trying to resolve some mathematical problem. And we should be willing to look into issues and deal with them so that you move on to other things.
That is true.
Otherwise, mtaanza kuongeleshana vibaya. You know? Unajua mtu unaanza kuongelesha mtu vibaya kwa sababu there is something hidden. There is where you're coming from. Yes. Something you have not resolved. So unaanza kuita mtu majina. Ama
unaongelesha watoto vibaya asikie.
Unaongelesha yeye kama umekasirika and unashangaa kwani nimefanya? You know? Yes.
Wow. So tell me now, Caro, what does Solomon like in terms of food? Ni nini anapenda sana? Hizo miaka mmeishi pamoja, na ni nini hapendi? Ukipika hata wewe unashuku hii hata kula.
Asa nianze na ile kitu hapendi. Hapendi cooked bananas. Hata hatupikangi.
Haipendi kabisa.
Hapendi.
Huyu ni wa pili sasa tumepatana. Hapendi nini? Matoke.
So we don't even cook bananas. Hata mtoto akiwa mdogo ati we don't even remember there is food called cooked bananas. We just eat them right.
Alikula sana huko Soti kama.
Sijui nini ilifanyika. But something he likes eating fish. He likes eating fish with ugali. Na anataka ile imetengenezwa tu kama yani ile ujaeka ati tu vitu mob. Yes. As simple as it can go, like kitunguu na nyanya.
Hivyo. I don't know what is it with most men, eh? Interview karibu zote nimeuliza wanapenda nini? Wanapenda ugali, greens and some protein.
Yes.
Yeah, most of them,
yes.
That's what I don't like. I don't like boiled
Food.
Boiled vegetables.
You don't like?
Just likes the fried. Partially. Yes.
Wow. So Solomon, what does Carol like and what doesn't she like? It could be food, it could be something you do she doesn't like. Nini Carol hapendi?
Yeah. Now, trying to bring myself that I wish I prepared myself when she was talking.
It must not be food.
It was
not should be anything. Hata kuna kitu unaweza jua utafanya umkasirishe tu.
Karo okay, anapenda fish pia. And then anapenda fish and she likes making very good chapatis. By the way, her chapatis are award winning.
Wow.
Award winning. And what else doesn't she like? She
Na sana pengine kitu wewe umefanya.
Kitu yenye mimi nafanya. Okay, I remember kulikuwa na there's a lady I used to know kitambo. And she was where she was in the Middle East, and then she went to the US. Now saa zingine anaandika WhatsApp. Anamwambia Karo ni WhatsApp tu anaandika.
Salamu tu.
Karo anasema hata kama ni full stop amekutumia. Hata kama amekutumia full stop.
Yes.
I said no talking to her. And hakuna kuvuta WhatsApp. So zote our phones nikichange password ninamwonyesha nimechange.
Umeweka gani?
Akichange
anakuonyesha.
Ananionyesha. So taki vitu za ku
hivi.
If you have to show it, even if it's bad, let me know.
Yes.
But if I know by myself, it would be a big issue.
Yes.
So
hata
kutumia na full stop.
Hataki kabisa.
There is nothing. Nasema I know. With you there is nothing. But her motives,
we don't know.
I don't know.
Karo, utaki mchezo hapa. Utaki kitu inaingia katikati yenu hapa, si ndio?
When we came into marriage,
nobody was there.
Yes. And we knew this thing we are here for life. Yes. So mchezo
Ujitaki. So Solomon kuita aje? Hii swali napenda kuuliza sana nisikie. Anakuita Karo ama anakuitanga nani?
Ananiita Hani.
Nimesikia tu nikiwa hapa. Hizo mara hata wewe ukiingia ni kama umemuita hivyo. Yeye anakuita aje Solomon?
Like that.
Even our children, they know us as Hani.
Yes, hata mtoto mdogo akitaka attention anasema
Hani.
Anajua hiyo ni vile dadi anaitwa na mama. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's how we started referring to each other like that. And not Mama Nani. Because before that Nani came,
yes,
we had made a decision.
That is true.
So that Nani is an addition.
Yes.
But these are the primary. And we are the people responsible for siring the next generation who will sire the next generation. So let them remember. Baba yangu alikuwa anaita mama yangu Hani.
Yeah, sure.
Walikuwa wanapendana. Yes.
Ni kweli?
They actually know we love each other. They even tell other people. Babangu anapenda mama yangu.
Oh yeah, that's lovely.
They can see.
Wow, that's nice. Kabla niwape opportunity tukifunga to say something to people who are getting married now or people who are in marriage.
Yes.
Before I give you an opportunity as we wind up to say something, where do you see yourselves in some years to come? You have a church, you have a ministry to run, your parents,
Yes.
you have projects to run in your daily lives. So like what do you see in the near future? What are you praying for? Where do you hope to be?
In a nutshell, we see ourselves as successful mentors and people who are bringing up the next generation of preachers. Preachers of the true gospel, because there's a lot of things are being taught out there. A lot of things. This morning I was discussing with a pastor who came to tell me that when he's preaching in a crusade, you know, he's got to tell people what to leave or what to stop or what not to do. Then I told him that is not the gospel. The gospel is not about people. What they do, what they need to stop. The gospel is about Jesus Christ and what Jesus Christ has done for the lives of people. Only that one can help them not to do what they should not do and to do what they should do.
That is
so
true.
We are focusing on people and their behaviors. God has not called us basically to do behavior change communications.
Wow, your passion for the ministry is evident.
Yes.
Kabisa.
It is.
And you, Carol?
It is, and I support him. I support him for that. Now he's talked about ministry. In years to come, I see ourselves also being mentors, even in the aspect of marriage and family. We have believed in God and trusted in God that we will be an example. We will be an example to the generations that are coming, that when they look at us, they will say, yeah, truly marriage. Marriage is there and marriage is good and marriage is working. I see our children and I pray for them that they are, and the same generation, they are growing together, that they are going to have successful marriages and happy marriages, not enduring. And as he has said, God has given us everything. I know God has given us everything that we need for this life and for godliness. I believe even as we continue to serve God, we will have a big place called home, where after we work, we will retire to and be resting peacefully. You know, I have that picture of a home. You know, a woman is just about a home, a peaceful environment, and the person that I am, that silent person.
Yes.
Yes, a peaceful environment and a big home. And I know God is faithful.
Yes.
I look forward, even as we have begun ministry, that we will have different programs, even for family and for women, to be able to minister the needs that are in marriage, because I believe that's something I have received from God. It is me enjoying my marriage. It is not because I went to school and learned 1, 2, 3, you do this. When your husband comes, you remove your coat. In fact, I don't remove his coat. And yeah, you do this for them to love you. It has been purely the grace of God.
Of God, sure.
Yes.
Wow, thank you so much, Carol and Solomon. I'm so happy for this interview. It is an eye-opener to many people, especially those maybe who could be struggling somewhere in trusting each other and so many things. I'm truly grateful. Hata mimi nimesoma 1 to 3 things. Nataka tuanze naye Carol na tuende kwa Solomon. You give your parting shot to the viewer on camera.
Yeah, thank you so much. I believe you have picked something, and something I would love maybe to tell young people that life is still the same as God ordained, and God is the one who ordains families. It is God who ordains marriages. There is a lot of information out there that you watch, the real things that are happening in the world, families breaking, and families really disvalued. We don't have those values as we really had before. But I want to promise you something. However, what people say, if you always base your trust in the word of God, God remains true. He has never changed. And whatever you ask him, he answers. So if God is still the same one, then the values of marriage, still exist. Marriage works because the Lord is working, and it is by his grace. You can trust him and you can believe him to have a family when you're of age, and he actually fulfills the desires of your heart. God bless you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I am glad that Karo Mwaura has given us this opportunity to be able to communicate what we are and what we've learned over the years that will be able to help someone else. I want to say in the onset that it is very important. It is very important that if you're part of a unity or a union like marriage, it is important to honor and to value your wife, or to honor and to value your husband for that matter, because you cannot be part of something you expect to draw fulfillment from and you don't value it. We made one of the decisions that we made with my wife from the onset is that I will not devalue my wife before my mother. We don't. For the 14 plus years, I have never discussed my wife negatively with my mother, because that one gives the in-law part of my life a loophole into undermining, a loophole so that they may undermine my wife or they may undermine my family. My wife has never allowed herself to be drawn into a negative discussion of her husband with her family. The gaps in marriage is what is leading to all that is happening bad in society, because everyone is better placed in a functional family or in a functional marriage. Even if the marriage, you come from a marriage that is not functional, you must not replicate where you came from. Like mine was dysfunctional. Mine was dysfunctional. In fact, you didn't know, I didn't know where my father would spend the night. I don't know whether it's house A, house B, or house C. It was E or D. But I cannot change my past, but I can change my future. I can pass on something that my children would want to associate with. Your past is not the problem, but what do you want to pass on to the other generation? If you want to pass on good, it is worth sitting down to learn about. It is worth sacrificing for. It is worth praying about. And it is worth giving yourself fully into and honoring. God bless you.
Wow, I truly admire the wisdom in the two of you. Thank you so much. Sana. Siku moja tunataka tuwatembelee kwa kanisa yenu, si ndio? We didn't even tell the viewer the name of the church, and also I would request if one of you would want to leave their number behind.
Oh yes.
Because we get people who want to speak to you after this.
Very well.
So it would be good if you just tell them the name of the church and also your number.
Yeah, thank you so much. My name is Pastor Solomon Were of JCC Embakasi, or Jubilee Christian Church Embakasi. We are located right behind the Imara Mall on Mombasa Road in Nairobi. Right behind the Imara Mall on Mombasa Road in Nairobi. in a place called Imara, JCC Embakasi, and it's just few months old, but the Lord is working. My number is 0723 456 200, 0723 456 200. And for those who want to talk to my wife, who's a professional marriage counselor and a trainer of trainers in counseling, her number is 0721 924 625, 0721 924 625. God bless you.
Wow, thank you so much, Caro and Solomon. Thank you so much. I think for the years we have not met, I feel so much connected with you guys since the last time.
Yes.
Tulipatana ile side ingine. I'm so grateful to you. Thank you for sharing your story. Thank you for encouraging many people, and thank you for touching their hearts, because once you say something to somebody and they may never want to forget it, umeguza maisha yao. And I think that is what really matters. How you change the life of the other person. And God bless you so much. Yes. Kumoja tutatembea kwa kanisa.
Thank you, welcome. And it is possible. Yes. Even with marriages that seem not to be working, there is hope.
Yes.
It is possible. God is interested in making it work.
That is true. Thank you so much. Na kuriwe mwiroreri ni twashokia ngatho muno ni ndu ogwo waturumirira kuma riria twambiririe kwaraniriria na Pastor Solomon na mutumia wake Caro. Twaraniria nao matuhe maundu maingi, matuteithia nginya matwira kiria twagirire gwika thiini wa miturire itu, nigetha kuma kiambiriria kia ihiko tukamenyaga ni mwerekera uriku twagirire ni kuoya. Nie ngutirihira oro hau nginya tuonane tafarira inegi, na uririkane turugamirirwo ni kambuni ya wendia wa migunda ya Brico Homes. No ngienda gukorwo kiaraniria na ithuĩ hurira Pauline Uitokera namba ya thimu 0721077077. No ngikienda gukorwo kiaraniria nanie kana kundumira rugano rwaku onawe ruria ungienda gushare thiini wa How We Met, no nyandikira kuhitukira WhatsApp 0722919062 kana no nyandikira kuhitukira email address yakwa niyo caroline.kinyugo@gmail.com. Ginya hindi ingi urime gukumia na tucemanie ni ngwendete.